Today I wanted to focus on basically like choosing a concealer shade, right? Because I think a lot of the times, like, when you think of concealer, you think of like the old, like traditional way where you apply concealer to certain spots that you want to hide. Like you find a concealer that matches your skin tone, you cover like little blemishes and things like that. Or when you think of concealers, depending on where you are in your makeup journey, you think of concealers and you're like, yeah, like for the under eye, like you've seen people do that, like I'm sure like hundreds of times at this point. But I really wanted to focus on concealer. I'm sure in other videos you see me like put it on or come back and I'm like, all done up, everything. But honestly, like I feel like I have so many of my favorite parts when it comes to applying makeup. I would say concealer is definitely one of my favorites. My face is primed. I think we talked about this before. If you don't know, you can choose to do your brows before or after, but I've kind of like chosen to do my brows like kind of like last. Now I did do a mistake where I kind of put some of the products that I did put on my face on my brows. Like it's best to keep your brows bare, or just like if you're choosing to do your brows or doing kind of some kind of skin prep, it kind of, just try not to get any products on the brows except for the brow product that you're using, just so that way, just in case, like I know if the lotion or the moisturizer is slippery and then you're trying to use a brow, it might not work out so well. If you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this series, and of course let me know if you want something specific. So my face is pretty much moisturized. It is glowing a little bit only because I just recently, within the past like 2 minutes, applied moisturizer. Just if you want to know, I did apply the Snail Mucin. I tend to do that immediately after I wash my face, just because I like for my skin to be damp when I apply like some kind of like humectant. A humectant is basically something that like it's moisturizing, like humidity, like humectant, and Snail Mucin and hyaluronic acid is known as humectants, meaning that they take water from the air or whatever onto your face to keep your face moisturized. But honestly, like just in general, my first product that I add on my face after I wash my face, like I just have to kind of like put it on immediately. So typically it's like this Snail Mucin or some like hyaluronic acid that I have. I think this is much better because I'm like that. After I applied the Snail Mucin, I went in and applied the Bong Bounce Cream. Y'all know about this. I actually really like it. I'm still not sure about if I'm like gonna be running to the store to repurchase this. I put this on, and then last but not least, I applied the Glow Serum. And is this Beauty of Joseon? Yes, it is. Yeah, so this is like their Glow Serum. I love the consistency of it. It's like a gel, but like jelly. Like it's a little bit thicker than like your typical like gel kind of thing. We're gonna be focusing on concealer and picking a concealer shade. This should not be too long. I know I can ramble. We know this. Like it's in my bio. I'm sorry about yapper. My skin is primed. It's pretty much set. I'm letting this skincare sit in my face, on my face, for at least like 5 minutes. And then I'm going to go in with a primer. And I think we talked about skin prep and primer. Check out that video if you haven't yet. Check it out. We're going to be looking at a concealer shade that matches us directly. You could pat it in and people won't be able to really tell. And then I'm going to show you a concealer shade where it's known for brightening, meaning like if you ever seen any kind of makeup looks where it's like bam, like under eye, and some people layer these, and I'll get into that, and I can definitely show you the difference because I'm a visual learner. Last but not least, I think this is like other concealer that I love and adore. This is the Lancome Teint Idole. Really make their shades like that easy to read. I'm like, Lancome, please fix that. I've already mentioned the point of concealer. The point of concealer is to either conceal something, or you're still concealing no matter what. You can conceal and also, like I mentioned before, have like a brighter color. So a lot of people are like, you know what, I don't really need to be doing the brightening look, and I'm gonna show you how it looks on both sides, and you tell me what you like and what you don't like. Right? What I'm gonna do is, just because some people will just go in, but I feel like I need to have something on my face, because for me personally, I don't really like the look of just concealer on the face and then you set it. Like I feel like it just doesn't, unless you have like super, like I think like perfect skin, like maybe I think you can go get away with it, or like literally it's like your skin tone in a bottle, like customized for you. But I just feel like because I have like, spots and everything, I just feel like it just kind of like stands out. Some people like that look, some people don't. I don't like that look. I'm going to prep my face. I'm going to use a primer of my choice. And this is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. And this is known, again, because we're reading what the claims are and we're trying to figure out what works for us. So in a primer, I like mattifying. I don't mind mattifying right now, even though I kind of don't want to do mattifying. But I'm going to mattify, I'm going to apply the mattifying primer on my T-zone, which means like right here, because this is where I tend to get oily. You can choose to use different products for different parts of your face. You can look into that. It's called face mapping, I think, and in beauty, and just experiment and see. So I know that I get oily. I have oily combination skin. So I am going to apply a couple drops to my T-zone. Like, I don't really want my forehead to look shiny underneath my makeup personally. So, because I know it's like my skin is like you have 30 minutes.
Do you know you have 30 minutes? Are you kidding me? 30 minutes.
Or it looks like just grease on your face. So I'm going to apply this. And it's supposed to mattify the places that I put it. I don't really get oily on my cheeks, like, at all. I'm going to use something, you know, just glowy. Because I want underneath the makeup, like on top, to look a little bit glowy. This is the Danessa Meyers. This is their glow serum. And they say here that you can apply under makeup or wear it alone. I'm going to wear it under makeup. I want right here to be a little bit glowy. Like, I like right here where the light hits and right here hits to be glowy. And we'll talk about that when it comes to contouring your face. I'm just like pressing this into the skin. As you can see, when you look at where I applied it, it's like slowly mattifying. I don't know if you can tell. Here it's like already mattifying, and then I just applied the glow serum right here on my forehead. I don't know what this part is called, like the knuckle. I don't know. But yeah, I applied it right here. And again, it's shinier because like I literally just applied it, so it needs to dry, it needs to set. So I'm gonna apply this because again, I personally do not want to just go in with concealer on my face. Like, I need to have something already for the concealer to work with. Just so that way for me, like, it blends better. Like I mentioned before, when it comes to concealer shades, there's the one shade that you might have where it's like, nope, this matches me, it matches my skin tone. I don't want to look super bright under-eyed. There are some people who have spot concealers, meaning like it's literally for just spotting. So that means it typically matches you. This is the shade Salted Caramel 7.3G in Huda Beauty's Easy Blur Concealer. I love this concealer. I got two of them because I like concealers where I have one that kind of matches my skin tone pretty well, just, you know, to kind of like blend everything out. And then and then one that's like brighter. So if you want to see the difference between the two, this shade that is a brightening concealer, meaning like it's for brightening, is Brittle 6.5G. So this is the difference. So this is the one that I'm like, you know what, I want it to match my skin tone more. And this one right here is more for like brightening. So usually, depending on my mood, I will use both, or I will just go in straight with the Brittle. But I like to just add a little bit of the Brittle because I don't want to look too bright under eye. Again, it depends on your mood and what you want to do that day. So I'm going to show on this side with just a concealer what it looks like when you use a concealer shade, and you just decide if what you want to do. Now, there are some makeup artists out there, and this is where you talk about application and what you like, right? I know you've seen people, social media, whatever, where they just do like a V, right? They apply it. You've seen me do it before where I do like a V, you know, and I like kind of go around like kind of like under my eye to really clean up the eye look that I do. And then you have people where honestly you don't need a lot of product, right? I think it honestly goes back to, again, what you prefer. So I think what I'm going to do is just for visual purposes, I'm going to use somewhat of a dense brush, meaning that it's a little bit dense, so that way I can apply creams or liquids. But this is a cream, it should be fine. So I'm going to go in and apply this with the way that it's like just you don't need that much, right? I'm not going to color correct. We talked about this already. I'm going to go in with the brush. And, you know, this is where you see a lot of makeup artists. Like, these are people who are trained. You see how this matches me? Kind of like a really, I mean, it's not going to match me really, really well, like to a T. But you'll see people where they just, you know, you don't need to be doing all that, right? And that's fine. Like, it just depends on preference. So this is me. So you just grab a little bit, 1, 2, 3, and you're just starting where literally there's like that sunken place under your eye. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, literally, like, don't hurt yourself. And again, we're tapping. So again, it might look like I'm going really fast, but it's again because I'm used to doing it. And you will see. And I have this spot right here. Let's cover. I'm gonna add a little bit of more. So just so we can cover this spot right here that I've had forever. And some people will recommend you to apply concealer when you kind of let it sit, you know, so that it's a little tacky and you get more coverage. Do you understand what I mean? Like, if you were to apply concealer very fast, it might kind of like not have as much coverage, whereas if you let it sit and kind of like marinate. I don't know how to describe that, but I'm going to cover up this spot right here. And this concealer is a really good concealer for that because I think it's like full coverage, but it just concealed it. You see that? Gone. Okay. I'm just going to make my way up again. Lightly tapping, be gentle around your eyes. So I'm just kind of like going like this, pretty much in a V, and kind of like filling in the upside down triangle or a V. This is for like the people who are like, I don't really want to bring too much attention. I want to look awake. You see the difference from this side and this side? I actually really like this. It looks very natural. It looks awake. You know what I mean? Like you're not doing too much, right? And then I'm just showing y'all because it all depends on preference. Like I like all three different ways I'm about to show y'all, to be honest with you. Like I have rarely done this method before where I just kind of like apply a little bit just because again, it's like a generational thing or just like whoever you are and what your preference is. Like this is what y'all have seen me do before. Like, I mean, yeah. And some people would do like the full on, like, I mean, the V, right? Oop. And then you can use a beauty blender. We talked about tools. You can use a brush. You can use whatever you want. Some people use their fingers. Again, it's all back to preference. Typically, I would let this sit because of whatever reason, but this is also a very full coverage concealer, so I don't think I need to really let it sit as much. And some concealers also dry really fast, like really quickly. So you kind of need to read reviews or know what you're setting up yourself for. And I want as much coverage as possible because I have under eye bags and I want them concealed. So you will see me not swiping as much because again, you've seen the other video where you swipe, you kind of take out some product. I'm trying to press it into the skin and get as much bang for my buck, whatever the American phrase is, like English phrases, like I don't know. But again, be gentle. Now that was with a concealer that actually pretty much matches my skin tone pretty well. Like you can, like I don't feel, like actually it concealed, right, my bags. So it gives me a little bit of a brightening effect. Like yeah, I conceal those bags, but just enough. Now, this is some people who are like, you know what, that's not enough. Like I want to have more of a brighter under eye. The thing is they usually say go up about 1 to 2 shades lighter. Okay, 1 to 2 shades lighter of a concealer. So I'm going to use the shade Brittle. Again, this is shade 6.5 and this is shade 7.3. So I kind of kept it to like 1 to 2 shades lighter or 1 to 2 shade difference. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on one side when you go in with a brighter concealer to kind of like brighten your under eyes. So I have the one underneath. You can decide to just do it by itself, the brightening, or just have it layered. Like you have one skin tone concealer and then something else. So I'm just going to add a little bit because again, like I want to keep it in, like I want this area to be brighter. Like I don't really care for it too much to go back here. So I'm going to like lightly do this. I'm just going to keep it. I'm not going to bring this down because I don't really I want it to stay like right here. So I'm going to like blend the outer parts. That's one suggestion. Start from the outer and then make your way in. Lightly just like airing out the edges because again, I don't want my concealer, the lighter one, to go all the way back here. Like I wanted to keep it contained. Do you see the difference? This one is where I use a concealer that's pretty much my shade, and then I use a concealer that is my shade but also decide to top it off with a brightening concealer. So this is honestly just like a preference thing. You just have to figure out what you like and what you don't like. Obviously this one makes me a little bit more like just like looks more bright. It just, again, it's also just a preference thing. I'll see you in the next one.